Hello, my name is Greg Clark. I'm a Wikitree member and an app developer, and today I'm going to demonstrate the latest citation app, the Irish Cites Citation Creator. It is similar to many other citation creators apps that I've created. There's a section at the top where you copy and paste information into it, and then a place where you can add transcription notes. And then when you hit the compile button, the citation appears in this box, which you can then copy and then paste into your profile. I'm going to demonstrate how this works using the profile for James Lawler. What we do know about him is that he was born in 1836 in Queen's County, Ireland. On the 27th of February, he got married to his wife, which was Winifred Dunn, and then he died in July 1904. So let us go back. So let us go to the app and start using this. So first of all, the easiest one will be to pick off his wedding because he's married to Winifred Dunn, and it was 27th of February, 1861 in the parish of Ballyfin. So we should be able to find that fairly easy. The four sites that you can use this citation creator for are Roots Ireland, which is a subscription site, and then three others which are free: IrishGenealogy, the Catholic Church Registers of National Library of Ireland, and the Census of Ireland from the National Archives of Ireland. So we're going to start off with the Roots Ireland and do a search. And actually, now when I've done the search, I find here is the record that I'm going to look at. So I searched for James Lawler, 1861, and came up with this record here. Now, it's got the right day, 27th February, 1861, but it says Mary Dunn. It doesn't say Winifred Dunn. But what we do have in this case, and not all of the ones on Roots Island are like this, but this one does have a link to the actual parish register. So let's open that up and have a look at that. So that opens up in Cappenrush, which is what it said that he was, Ballyfin. Anyways, there's see, Parish is Cappenrush in Ballyfin. So there we go. So that's nice that we're in the right place. Let's zoom in here. And we're looking for February of 1861. So the nice thing about the National Library of Ireland, the Catholic Parish Registers site, is that you can, even though it starts at page 1 every time you go into the site, you can use this filter to jump directly to a different place. So I'm going to jump directly to 1861 and February and hit apply, and then that should jump directly to there. So there we have marriages. Now it says 1860, and there's 61 there. So 61 must start somewhere down the page. There we have it. January, February 10th, Joseph. February 11th, James. Then over here, we have, we jump down to June. June, okay, so maybe it wasn't February. Maybe that information was wrong. October, don't see it on this page. Let's go to the next page. Here we're now into 1862. And there's February. And there's February 27th. There we go. And there's our guy, James Lawler. And so now look at this. James Lawler to, see that, looking at that name, I can see that that's Winnie, W-I-N-N-Y, Dunn, Winnie Dunn, which is his wife's name. But I can tell, I can see why a transcriber would have mistranscribed that as Mary. So that's not surprising they did that. Interesting though that they also transcribed the year wrong as 1862, in 1861 instead of 62. But we'll be fine. And then there's the witnesses, William Corcoran and Betty Corcoran. Okay, so so we've got all the information we need. So this is indeed the church record on Roots Ireland, and there's the actual record in the register. So we're going to use both of those. So step 1, go back to the original record that we found on Roots Ireland. We're going to copy the URL first. So you click in the URL bar, or a shortcut you can always use is on a Mac, you go to Command L or Control L on a Windows machine, and then Command C or Control C to copy that. And then in the first field in the Citation Creator app, we paste that. So Command V or Control V will paste the URL. Then we go back to the Roots Ireland site. And the next thing you want to do is copy all of the text on that page. So the best way to do that is to click on the page anywhere on the web page itself, then Command A or Control A to select it all, and then Command C, Control C to copy it. And then put your cursor in this big text box here and Command V on a Mac or Control V on a Windows machine, and that'll copy it. And then when you click out of that page, either you hit the tab or just click somewhere else, then it's going to grab all of the information it found on that Roots Ireland page and transcribe it there for you or summarize it. Now the other thing is, because we actually found the register, we're going to copy that URL as well and then paste that in this optional page. Now, not every, as I mentioned, not every record in Roots Ireland has a link to the parish register, but if you do have one, then I suggest strongly that you do that, because the advantage is, whereas Roots Ireland, this site itself is a subscription-only site, so you can only get to this level if you've got a subscription. But anyone using your profile, reading your profile, can link to this National Library of Ireland. This is a free site, so the second link will be free for people to use. So that's very advantageous. Now, there's when you compile this citation, one of the options is to add a bio right up before the citation. So that's helpful, because then it can actually help you create your profile and glean all the facts, put all the facts together that are in the record that you found. So I'm going to hit compile. And just reading through here, you see it's on the 27th of February in the parish of Ballyfin, County Laois. James Lawler, son of Lawler, married Mary Dunn, daughter of Dunn. Okay, so it grabbed the names of the last names of the parents, of the fathers, from this record. You see, it says husband's father, wife's father, but without their first names, that information isn't very exciting. Not really very helpful. So I'm going to actually get rid of that and then recompile it, and it takes out the mention to the fathers. But it does add who the witnesses were. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, because we know it's actually 62, I'm going to change that sentence to actually be accurate. And the other thing you can do is you can put a note. So for example, I'm going to say on Roots Ireland, the record was mistranscribed as 1861 and Mary Dunn instead of 1862 and Winnie Dunn. And actually, I should change the sentence here so it says Winnie Dunn is who he married. So now if I recompile, actually, if I recompile that, what's going to happen? There we go. There's the extra note, but it, oh, I have to, of course it used the information that was there. Winnie, there we go. Now we're going to copy that citation, click the copy button. A little pop-up will come here. You can say okay. If the pop-up doesn't come up because you've got a pop-up blocker, then you can just put your cursor in here and just select everything. Control A, select it, copy it again. And now we can go into our profile, go to edit mode, and I'm going to replace this line with the more fulsome citation and bio. And let's have a preview, see what that looks like. There we go. In the parish, looks pretty good. And there is a very nice, there's the nice citation. Okay, so let's call that a wrap, and we'll say marriage info and source noted. There we go. Okay, so let's see if we can find the source for the birth or baptism. 1836, Queens County. Let's take a guess that it's the same parish that he was married in. So he was born in 1836, we think. And the research note actually from a fellow WikiTree member suggested that he thinks that James was a son of Richard Lawler and Anne Baldwin. So let's see if we can find that. So I'm going to actually search for baptisms in 1836. And let's start looking around March. And then we can zoom in a bit so we can read that better. 1836, March, no one there. Oh, but look at over here. There's James jumping out, and that's April. Looks like April 10th. Let's go up the page so we can see a little better. There we have April 10th. James, son of Richard Lawler and Anne Baldwin, just as predicted. And then there's the sponsors, John Mulhall and Mary Mitchell. Okay, so we're going to grab that URL, go back to our citation creator. Let's clear all of this so we can start fresh. I'm going to put in the URL that I copied from this place. And then we're going to copy all the text on this page, but there's not a lot on the NLS sites. So what you want to do is you want to click on this button so that we show the register information. That gives you a little bit more information. Copy, select all, go to the creator app, copy, paste that, and you can see, so it does give you some information, basically how to find it, the name of the parish, the microfilm number, and the page number that we're viewing, and the date range in which that took place. So that's all good information. And then we're going to hit the compile button. Now there is no bio option to this because there's so little specific information about the individual that's copied from the text itself. All the information is embedded inside the image, which the app can't read. But we can read it, so we could add that information in the transcription area here. So let's do that. I'm just going to slide this over. Let's go down and see here. So I'm going to put in basically what I see. So the first thing we saw was 1836, then April 10th, then we just saw James. Then we saw his parents, Richard Lawler and Anne Baldwin. And then we saw the sponsors, which were John Mulhall, Mary Mitchell. John Mulhall and Mary Mitchell. Okay, let's add that to the citation, and there we go. So I'm going to copy all of that, select it all, copy it, and then we're going to paste that into there we go. So there's the source citation, but we can add information, a little more information into the biography now because of this information. So for example, we can say that James is the son of Richard Lawler and Anne Baldwin. We figure he was born in 1836, but we don't have an actual birth date, but we do have his baptism date. On the 10th of April, 1836, and his, why don't we say in the parish of Cap'n Rush. His sponsors were John Mulhall and Mary Mitchell. And there we go. I think that's all the information. Let's hit preview, see what that looks like. Looks good. So let's add that baptism source. Okay. Final stop, final destination. He died in July of 1904. Okay. Going back to the citation app, let's clear that. So we've looked at the Roots Ireland site. We've looked at Irish genealogy. We've looked at the National Library of Ireland. We haven't looked at Irish genealogy. So let's look at that site and see if we can find his death record. So it's going to be, we're going to look in the civil records. And in fact, I'm going to save us a little time because I know exactly where that is. And there's his death record right there. And so now this page, this summary page basically doesn't give you a lot of information, but luckily Irish Genealogy does have a link to the actual image, the register image. So if we click on that and open that up, that gives us a lot more fulsome information. And here's James Lawler here. He actually died on the 8th of July in Clonley Glass, or possibly Clonty Glass. if they didn't cross their T properly. He was married 67 years. That jives with being born in 1836. And there's his wife's name as being present at death, Winifred Lawler. So this is definitely the guy we want. So we're going to start by copying the URL from the Irish Genealogy site. Paste that in there. Then we're going to go back there. We're going to click on the page, select, highlight everything, Control A, copy it, Control C, paste it in here, and see there's the information that has been captured. And then we're going to want to also add this information here. So grab the URL for the PDF. So just like when you're on Roots Island, you use this optional third place to put the register image. If you're on the Irish Genealogy, you should use that third place to put the register image. Okay, so that's there, and then we can compile that citation. And there we have it. Let's copy that, go to the edit mode again, and let's add that. Okay, so now this information here, there's not a lot there. And again, what we could have done, and probably should have done, is we should have added the transcription of the information from the PDF. So maybe let's do that. So we know it was the 8th of July, Clonley Glass. Okay, so each one more Clonley Glass. Is it 2 S's in glass? Yep. And then it's James Lawler. James Lawler. Yeah, 67 years, farmer, died of a general debility. And then Winifred Lawler, present at death. Actually, let's compile that, and let's use that now. And so that gives us a little bit more, a nice, more fulsome citation. Let's add some of that information into here, into the biography itself. Okay. So, farmer, 67, of Clonley Glass, Mount Mellick, died on, and we can say exactly on the 8th of July, 1904. And we could even say of general debility. I'm not quite sure what that means, but is that just old age? Anyways, his wife, Winifred, was present at his death. We could even be a little poetic and say she was at his side when he passed, or something like that. And so there we go. Let's preview that. There we go. That's good. And we're going to add that here. Okay, and then the final thing, so that gives us the birth, marriage, death, but there's actually a fourth site there, the census. And luckily, he passed away in 1904, which means he was alive during the 1901 census. So let's go have a look-see for him in 1901. So we can do a search for him in 1901. And I actually have the results of that search. Where did that go? Okay, well, let me just redo the search then. Now I happen to know I cheated. He was in Queens County, and he actually, in the census, they spelled his name with a W. So let's search for that. And I happen to know, let's see, he died in Clonley Glass. There's a couple there we go. And this looks like the right guy. There it is, James and Winifred. There's his wife, and there's his children, Finton and William. And if you look at his profile, you can see Finton and William. Yeah, this is the right guy. So we are going to do the same sort of thing. We're going to grab the URL, put it in here. We're going to grab everything on the page, highlight, copy, paste, And there we have this now. And we compile the citation. And there's a couple options under Census, whether you want the names, this information, if you want that added to the citation, you can do that, and you can choose minimal or all the details or something in between. So there we're going to we compile that. We're going to copy that, and we're going to go back to his profile, add that. Okay, he was married there. He died there. So the census would be in between those two events. And we preview that. You can see there he was in 1901. He was living in the house along with his wife Winifred. Their children, 3 of their children, were living with them, and also living with them were some grandchildren. There we go. So let's add that. 1901 census. And we now have a much more fulsome profile. We have nice sources for all of them. It's a beautiful thing of wonder. And so that's some of the stuff you can do with the Irish Cites Citation Creator. If you want additional help or have questions, or if you find a bug, please let me know. You can contact the author. There's a link right there. That's me. There's links to other apps. The link to the G2G post that I will make when I release this to Wikitree will be there, of course. And I'll have a link to James's profile right here, so you can go and see how I did it for each of those examples. Thanks very much. Have a great day.